Hi, my name is Zach, and I'm going to be putting this strut and this coil back on a Honda Civic today. I'm going to be using a fuel gun, and I'm going to be using a ratchet driver with a 3/16, and I'm also going to be using a 14mm wrench. Alright, I'm going to be putting this coil back on top of the strut. It just goes right down over top like so. You're going to put your cap back down. It's got a little rubber piece that goes on the bottom, and it's going to fall down. It's going to be stopped by a little silver plate. And we're going to be putting it back. Alright, I'm going to be putting this strut with the coil back onto the control arms. So first we're going to start off by compressing the shock and make sure the nut side is facing towards the front of the car. Sometimes these things can be a pain. And you can manually push and preload the shock. And then once that's done, just make sure your coil is on there and fitted correctly, like so. You don't want it to be like crooked or anything. And then we're gonna put these bolts back through, keep the strut in place. Alright, we're gonna be using our fuel gun again here. We're gonna be using a 17mm socket to drive this bolt back from the strut back onto the control arm. And you want to make sure it's nice and tight to where it clicks. And then we're going to be putting, alright, pause that actually. Alright, you're going to need your fuel gun again with a 14mm socket. And I'm going to drive this bolt back into the hub. Make sure it clicks nice and tight. And that's everything for putting the strut back on so far. Alright, then we're going to place this washer back on top of the strut with this nut on top of it. You're going to use this Allen driver with a 3/16 to put on top of the strut and a 14mm to tighten it. This is just used for keeping the strut in place to tighten it then. So this is what we're just going to do. Just slide it right down on top. Finger tighten it first, that way it doesn't take so long. Then we're just going to put that on top like so. Just do a few little tightens first. Try and get as tight as possible with your fingers, because or else it'll take forever. It makes it a lot easier with power tools, but in a tight space, you're very limited. You just want to make sure you get it tight. And then that's it. We're going to be using our fuel gun to put our tire back on. I'm using most of the time on these years at Honda, it's a 3/4 socket. And like I said before, you just want to hand tighten these first. That way you do not strip your strut out, because that's bad, bad news. Sometimes I use my foot to hold the tire in place, that way it doesn't kick out. You just want to get them as tight as possible. Okay. Go to it clicks again, make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, and then you just put back your strut and coil back onto your control arms. Thank you for watching, and hope you learned something today.